Happy day. And we are back with the Pirate Broadcast. And for those of you just joining us, thank you so much. All the gratitude in the world for you being here live. And also, if you're listening to this on the replay, type in #replay so I can actually come back and connect with you and, coordinate and answer your questions. If you have questions for our guests, always drop them in the comments and we'd love to come back and get those questions answered. Also, if you're looking around the interwebs and you can see us in different places, and we're on Periscope and YouTube and Facebook and a few other places. So if LinkedIn is difficult to catch it at sometimes in the 7:00 a.m. Arizona time, you can find us elsewhere. So also on podcasts, Spotify, and all the other popular iTunes podcast or whatever it's called. So today we have a special guest, and we're going to be talking about the nonprofit space and some of the things that are going on in the nonprofit space as far as engagement in your community. So today we have Jarrett. How are you?
Good morning.
So Jarrett's a friend of mine in Phoenix, and in the Phoenix community, she's very entrenched in the nonprofit space. And so talk a little bit about what you're doing here today and how you arrived on LinkedIn and how are you generating business and how are you having conversations, Jarrett?
All the things, right, Russ?
All the things.
Well, first of all, I would like to nerd out with you. So Jarrett Ransom, #nonprofit_nerd.
Yeah.
This is some of my swag, some of my personality. I started my business in 2009, Russ. So last year I celebrated 10 years.
Wow. That's
yeah.
Awesome.
It's been amazing. So I created these nonprofit nerd glasses because, as I like to say, I am a nonprofit nerd. I love to nerd out over these topics and the sector. It's branded with my #nonprofit_nerd there. I don't know if, yes, there you can see it. But yeah, this is instructions. There we go.
I love that.
Right. So LinkedIn, I connected on LinkedIn, honestly, gosh, a decade ago. I don't even know when LinkedIn really started.
Mm-hmm.
But focused on LinkedIn because of the power of connection,
the
power of relationship, the power of, for me in the nonprofit sector, my main wheelhouse when I started my career, Russ, is in fundraising. So it's that fund development and the relationship. And 6 degrees of separation, which now it's really like 2 degrees of separation.
No kidding.
Connected. But I love to go on to LinkedIn and find out who knows who, how might we open doors. Russ, that's what you do. You're a big door opener. Wonderful. So the power of connection on LinkedIn has really been amazing for me by way of connecting clients, connecting donors, connecting board members. And then personally, in full transparency, for anyone who knows me, I am a transparent, authentic, what you see is what you get. It's a great way for me to build my sales pipeline. So there's tons of board members on LinkedIn, right? They use that platform for their business. And so I've really pivoted my main marketing away from any other social media platform, Facebook it used to be the main one, into LinkedIn, because that's where civically engaged people are connecting.
I like that term, civically engaged.
Civically engaged.
And I think more so, and it's business focused. So, board members and people that are investing time and energy in any company, organization, and in cause as well. There's a lot of cause-based organizations on LinkedIn that are really going after, building value in the community. And I think it's really about the value that we bring to the table versus what's in it for us, right? And we were talking about that a little bit earlier. Maybe you can dive a little deeper into that, because it's like we don't have to chase new people. We already have people. So why do we need to do any more?
That's right. And so really it's about being focused on the donors, the supporters, the champions for your cause, being focused on them, because it costs 10 times as much money to obtain a new donor than it does to maintain an existing donor. So keep your people happy, right? Keep them engaged, share that value, get them even further invested in your mission. And that's exactly, Russ, thank you for this opportunity, because on February the 14th, Love Day, we are doing a workshop, so donor engagement workshop. Myself and a co-presenter, Sarah Groney, she is the CEO of Project Big Impact, and she is a marketing guru. She's also a token millennial, which I love. So she brings in a whole new sect of, just so much creativity and vibrancy around that engagement, that marketing communications piece. And she and I are just so synergistic in how we serve our community. So we have a workshop coming up. Would love to share more. So we're going to talk about creating value, that value that you said for your donors, for your supporters. How are you providing value, and how do you keep the ones that you have happy and engaged?
Well, the thing that really stirred my mind is when I saw that, and we were talking about it earlier. And the reason I wanted to have you on the show is, I love talking to interesting people doing interesting things, and we've had some great conversations over the past number of years, and I know that there are so many people in the nonprofit space that are still struggling with some of their goals and ideas and how to implement them. And that's one of the things that I thought you were really creative with is being able to apply some of those strategies and some of those conversations around how do you maintain the continuity between having a donor and having somebody involved in the community, and then keep the engagement going forward. And I think it's critical, and a lot of people miss out on that because they're really busy. Nonprofits typically wear a lot of hats, and
right.
so the environment's a little hectic at times, and there's a lot of volunteers that are not necessarily as educated or informed as, they're there for their cause. They're not necessarily there for the business of the nonprofit. And it is a business, and so we have to treat it like a business. And so having an event where you're talking about maintaining client engagement and bringing that continuity in the conversation is important. So what are some of the things you're going to be talking about?
Yeah, we're going to be talking about that donor journey and, really mapping that out for every agency. It's going to be customized. We're allowing only 10 agencies in for the workshop. So we want it to be an intimate setting because Sarah and I want to work with you. We want to be side by side with you. We want to customize a plan that works for you and your nonprofit. So this isn't a cookie cutter, right? It's not, here's what you do, carpe diem, this is your plan, everyone gets one. You get a plan, you get a plan, and you get a plan. No, this is what
you get a plan, you get a plan, and you get a plan.
Right? It's really customized for your community, for your donors, for your engagement. Because honestly, Russ, it could be a startup nonprofit and maybe you have 200 donors, right? Or maybe you have 2,000 donors, or maybe you have 20,000. We are going to work with you to create this donor journey. And when I say donor journey, it really is, it's customized. And I like to do twofold, really threefold, but we're going to focus more on these two, which is the new donor. So what is the journey when a new donor comes into your organization? How do you treat them? How do you communicate with them? What is your outreach to them?
Yeah. What does that look like?
What's it look like? And then that recurring donor. So these are your donors that have been with you a long time. They've loved you. They are going to continue to love you, but they still need to be treated well and not neglected. And, off air, I was sharing with you that I like to use the analogy because we've all been there. We've all been to a restaurant and we had horrible service, horrible food, horrible experience. And I'm not knocking the restaurant sector, knocking you.
Not knocking.
Right? When you have a bad experience, that's what you talk about.
Well, right? And I think to that point, though, there's a parallel between the ability and the opportunity to have a strategy, train your volunteers, train your staff, either one, and then have increased awareness of what the value proposition is
Right.
for the person engaging that buyer's journey, that nonprofit, that donor's journey. It's the same thing.
Same thing.
Everybody wants a good experience. That's why we do things, right?
That's right.
We want the experience. And I think it's absolutely critical that we think about that. So
yeah, and people give for many reasons. I like to focus on the altruism, that people truly give to be altruistic. Now, let's not downplay the tax credit. There is a benefit to us as donors, especially in the state of Arizona, that if you owe the state, you can give that money to a qualified charitable organization. That's a tax credit and that's a transition, and there is a purpose for that. But that's also a donor journey, because they get to pick year after year if they continue to give their tax credit dollars to you or to another bucket of money.
Yeah. So, hey, thinking of credit, I want to give people credit for being here. Rachel Beck, good morning. Gabriel, always a fantastic morning. Sherry Lawley, Gadar, and Angie, thank you so much for being here. It's fantastic to have people in here and learning about what is going on in the nonprofit space. And I've had other nonprofits, events and opportunities here. And I know that you're also a keynote speaker. So you're going to be speaking here in the near future, completely unrelated with this event. However, it's still something to note that you're out in the community, you're doing these things, you're seeing this take place, you're helping the other nonprofits and the business owners that are in there trying to organize their volunteers and their board members and the staff. So, that's one thing that I think is overlooked a lot in the nonprofit space is how the board operates and how it communicates back and forth with the nonprofit. Maybe you could talk a little bit about your board retreats and how that affects the organization overall.
Absolutely. Board members are critical. They are a critical piece to the organization, critical stakeholder. And, to be honest, another plug for the workshop, I'd love for the board chair to attend. So in fact, it's $895 to attend the workshop on the 14th. But for those of you that are up early or watching the hashtag replay, let me know. I will give you $100 towards your event. So we're allowing agencies to bring 2 representatives because we want this to be successful. So we don't want just one representative from the agency. If you have a very engaged board chair or a communications chair committee member, bring he or she or them with you to the workshop. I want you to engage them with this plan. But board members really are critical. Not only do you hold the fiduciary responsibility of the nonprofit, meaning the books, the accounting, the health of the finances, but you're really serving as a huge ambassador to the community, a huge champion for your cause. And to be honest, Russ, I share all the time as a board member, instead of saying at a networking event, hi, this is who I am, this is what I do for work, talk about your mission, talk about what boards you serve on, talk about how you are civically engaged in the community, because people want to build relationships and we want to give to people that we know, like, and trust, not just purchase a widget. So I always coach during my board retreats and facilitation, start talking about the boards you serve on, start talking about how you positively impact the community above and beyond your day job, above and beyond your career, because that does connect to people on that altruistic level.
Well, and where there might be an opportunity to place that information also is on your LinkedIn profile.
I coach that too. And I tell them, I said, if this is not on your profile, do it right now. Go ahead, pull out your phone, your laptop, your iPad, whatever, because you should absolutely be shouting from the rooftop your engagement in the community.
Well, and so, and people fail to realize that there are so many great, amazing nonprofits out there doing good work. Even in a small impact is still an impact, right?
That's right.
That's the whole purpose of this Pirate Broadcast is let's take some individuals that may not have an opportunity or may not have the time or the skill set or whatever reason, and let's bring them to the table and highlight what they're doing. And, you've been able to go out you're an author as well, so you've got some traction in the market, and you've got some visibility, and you know how to get in front of people, and you're not shy to talk to new people and do that. However, there's a lot of people that have questions that they're not really sure who to ask. So like you said, if I can open a door to have a conversation with you, and somebody's like, how do I do this? Yeah. Well, get a hold of Jarrett. Just reach out to her.
Yeah, and I'm going to be completely honest. And again, if you know me, I am transparent through and through. I do work nationwide, just like this platform here. Video conference is available. So if you are in another state besides Arizona, it doesn't matter. Borders is not an issue. Contact me. I've even done some international work. But I have a heart for grassroots. I have a heart for underdogs. Yeah. I have a heart for people with a huge passion and a mission. So I offer free, phone calls. So you just go on my website, theravengroup.com. Maybe we can write that out, but it's RAYVAN group.com, and schedule a 15-minute call with me. I'm happy to chat. I also do sessions like Pick My Brain. So if you want a little longer than 15 minutes, we can schedule that. This is when my glasses come in handy. I do a nonprofit nerd out session. It's 90 minutes of customized strategy. In fact, I'm doing another one this Saturday with an organization. And
what's the spelling? Spell that again one more time.
The Raven Group.
Yeah, RAYVAN.
Let's see if I can get right here. Yep, RAYVAN group.com. A little inside tip there. Raven is my middle name. So,
okay.
Jarrett Raven Ransom. And I would love to nerd out with you. I would love to be a resource. The other thing too, Russ, is I'm the talk show host for the American Nonprofit Academy. So it's called the NPO, Nonprofit Organization Talk Show. You can find that on my website as well. And I've got tons of discussions with add the in there, THE right before Raven Group. But otherwise, you rock, Russ. I like that. I like that little scroll. I feel like I'm on CNN right now.
You are just dialed in. That's what I always say.
You're amazing. So, however I can help you, however I can be of service. I offer tons of resources on my website. That NPO talk show is a great resource. It's also on podcast and all those Apple iPlay tune things that we talked about earlier. I want to help you, and don't worry if you're in Arizona or not. I'm here to serve my community.
Well, and one of the things that I'm doing is reaching out and helping get the word out to some of these events, some of these activities, because I'm in the same mindset. I love helping others. I love being able to highlight people out there, and it's really great when you can meet somebody and know somebody and say, hey, you have something going on. Let's share it with the world.
Yeah.
It's not the worst thing in the world. It's not the worst thing to do. Yes. Right?
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about how and why you got in the nonprofit space. You've been in since 2009.
Earlier, Russ.
Early.
20 plus years. So I really started my career as an intern for a nonprofit that's a C6 Chamber of Commerce. So I started my career in the Chamber of Commerce space. So that's really where I was. My undergrad is in mass communication. And so I started off, for those of you that have been in the field a while, I was creating printed newsletters that were mailed out to members. I designed them on Quark Express.
I remember Quark Express.
Quark Express, right? Like that's what I did. And I worked for two chambers of commerces in I don't know, in South Carolina. And then I moved here in 2001, and I worked for the Greater Phoenix Chamber of Commerce under Valerie Manning. So if any of you have been in the Valley a while, so that was my mass comm degree. And I moved from the C6 space to the C3 space. I still serve both. For those of you that may not be familiar, that's just a designation of a nonprofit. So there's still a nonprofit organization, just a different designation. So I have both C3s and C6s, and I love community. Like, I just love being in community. I love being of service. My mom had me volunteering as a young child. You know, we were making cookies for Ronald McDonald House. We were donating toys to Salvation Army. I have my son doing that now. He's 9, and he's very, very civically engaged. Yeah. And it's just, I love it. You know, I'm from a small town, and I feel that the nonprofit sector is more of that small town feel. It's a community. Your DNA. Yeah, it's a community. It's a family. I did work. I was in the cog of the corporate sector for about 6 months, and it was miserable. And I sucked at that job. I sucked at it. And I was fired, and I was so grateful. It was like, thank you. I needed this nudge. Yeah. Mission accomplished. I want to get back to the nonprofit sector. And I'm a huge extrovert. And so you put me in front of a group of people with a microphone and an opportunity to share about a wonderful cause and a phenomenal mission. Yeah. I will do it all day long.
Yeah. Well, I think when we had an event in Phoenix there, and I called you up and I said, yeah, can you be an MC? It's like, sure. Yeah, let's do this.
Yeah. And you know what, Russ? I had never done it before.
And here's the thing, though. It was a wonderful event. It turned out well, and we had a great turnout, and it was nice just to be. It was like a pop-up party, right? Yes. It's just like, okay, let's do that again.
Let's do it again. It was so much fun. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, thank you for that opportunity. And that's where we connected, and we've been fast friends since.
Yeah. In fact, Tanner Gears and Ginger Johnson, they're both TEDx speakers.
That's right.
We're at the event, and it was fun. We had a good time. Yeah. So what else is going on in Phoenix? It's been a few minutes since we caught up. So, there's some things going on in Phoenix, and I haven't really been downtown that way on the east side recently.
Oh my gosh, the cranes, the buildings,
it's crazy.
Skylines. And then of course, right now, currently is the Waste Management Open. So we are flooded with tourists right now.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, or maybe that ended. To be honest, I'm not sure. I'm not a big golfer.
I heard there was a football game too.
I heard there was a game. Anyway, I was about to bring up the tweets of Kansas State, but I won't. I'll just stop there.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to give a shout out to Jennifer. Jennifer, thank you so much for being here. Good to see you. Arcot. I know Arcot has been a huge advocate for the nonprofit space, and he's done a lot of great work. Jessica Gio, thank you so much. And Carol Campos, thank you so much for being here. All of these individuals that are so supportive of the Pirate Broadcast and the guests that come on. If you're not connected with Jarrett, reach out to Jarrett, connect with her, tell her Russ sent you, and know that you're in good hands if you're in a nonprofit space, and you can actually have an opportunity to call up, dial in a conversation, and have that conversation with her about what you're doing in your nonprofit space. And also, if you're a business owner and you're thinking about being on a board, what's the journey for that? I mean, I've been a board member before in different organizations, and I actually started a nonprofit, like a farmer's market at one point in my life. And so what are some tips or strategies that are people and business owners and they're thinking about it? What's the journey look like for a board member?
It's funny you asked that, or you mentioned that. I get asked this a lot, Russ, and I love it because, again, it tells me that there's so many community members out there that do want to be civically engaged. So I think that's the third time now I've dropped that phrase, civically engaged. So I did a YouTube video on that, and it's on my YouTube channel. But the first thing I mention is, what are you passionate about, right? Kind of like know your why, Simon Sinek. What is your why in nonprofits? What are you passionate about? Is it hunger? Is it children? Is it education? Is it farmers market and nutrition? Because I want you to tap into your passion and your mission. I want you to serve on a board and with an organization that you are passionate about. And start there, right? In Arizona alone, we have over 20,000 nonprofits. 20,000 in Arizona. There's 1.3 million, I believe, in the US. So that's just the United States. So there are plenty out there, and many of these organizations need board members. They really do. Always ask if they have D&O insurance, which stands for Directors and Officers Insurance. I've had several board members, be remiss in asking that. Basically, that covers your booty, right?
Yeah.
It's an insurance policy that covers your booty, and not your pirate booty, but your other booty. And I had to work that in there, Russ, right?
Just to be clear.
Just to be clear. Yeah. And then talk to the organization, ask them, what is an expectation of the board members, right? Are they looking to diversify their board? Are they looking to gain new board members? And then what is the expectation of a board member? Is there a time commitment expectation? Is there a monetary commitment expectation? And just have that conversation.
Yeah. Because, they're open to having a conversation, and as you know, as well as anyone, you start the conversation, you don't know where it's going to go. And you're just one conversation away from getting something that you need or giving something that someone else needs, right?
Serving on a board is so rewarding. It's a lot of work. It can be a lot of work. Every board is different. It depends on, I don't want to say the age of the nonprofit, because even if the nonprofit's been around for 30 years, they could still very much be a grassroots roll up your sleeve board, to serve on. And then there's super large boards of like hospitals and things like that there might be a financial commitment of $20,000. So you just want to be clear of what are the expectations, time, money, where do they need help and support? And it's fun, but make sure you connect with your mission, because you'll be much more, in alignment with serving the community. Fantastic.
Well, I wanted to make sure that people reach out and connect with you. Remind us one more time. Is it next Friday? A week from this Friday.
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day. Leave your heart at this event, because it's going to be working for you in the future. So and new nonprofits, or someone that's even considering starting a nonprofit, it would probably be valuable to engage in, because I think there's a lot of things that you don't know what you don't know, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'll say that this workshop is really designed not only at the price point of $895, but it's designed to help the smaller nonprofits. So under $1 million operating budget. In Arizona, we're a small business state. We're a small nonprofit state, meeting our operating budget. So big impact, small operating budget. Yeah. And for all of you here, I want to give you $100 off. So that'll take it from $895 to $795. Bring your board chair or your fundraising committee member with you, because you can bring 2 representatives to the workshop. Contact me. Even if you can't make the workshop, I want to be of resource. I want to be of service for you. So theravengroup.com, and on Instagram, or the Gram, or the Insta, or whatever we're calling it these days.
IG.
It's Nonprofit Nerd.
Nonprofit Nerd. I'll have to go follow up and tag you on that. So
yeah, please do.
It's so fun to see you again, Jarrett. And I smile every time we connect, and it's always a joy to have good conversations with you and anyone we're around. So
you're the best.
Thank you so much for being here, Jarrett. I wish you all the best. And when I get back to Phoenix, we'll have to connect and talk about life, liberty, and the pursuit of nonprofit space. Okay?
Yeah, I can't wait. You're a great hugger, so I want one of those awesome hugs. But before we sign off, before you let me go, I want to say cheers to all of the morning birds, all the early birds that rose and joined us this morning. Thank you so much. And for all of you watching the replay, you're awesome too.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for the support. And as you know, kindness is cool. smiles are free, and you enjoy the day. Thanks, Jarrett.
Bye. Thank you.